What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Road to Medicine. So today we have a special guest with us. So we have Sihle Mogorosi, aka Sihle Medic. I'm sure everyone knows Sihle. So Sihle is currently a fifth-year medical student at the University of Pretoria, and today we're going to be interviewing him on his journey into medicine. How are you today, Sihle?
Well, thanks, Blessing. It's just rather cold today. How are you?
It's so cold in Cape Town, like it's so bad.
Yeah,
I think it's
I
just
read somewhere it's the coldest day in Pretoria today, so we are freezing.
yeah.
But otherwise, we are surviving. Well, thanks.
Okay. Thank you for joining us today. Maybe as a starter, you can just briefly tell us about yourself and yeah, just a small intro about yourself, what you're currently studying now, and we can take it from there.
Okay, hi guys. As Blessing has said, my name is Sihle Mogorosi. I am from the Green Hills of KwaZulu-Natal, from a small town called Eshowe. I grew up there and did my entire high school that side. I'm currently doing medicine at the University of Pretoria, fifth year. And what more can I say about myself? I like things. I like trying new things. I like experimenting, pushing myself beyond my comfort zone. Yeah, that's basically me in a nutshell.
Okay. Can you walk us through like your high school experience, particularly matric? How was your matric year?
Oh, Matric. It's ages ago now, Blessing. That's ages. Okay, 2016. Okay, I matriculated in 2016. I went to Eshowe High School. I remember 2016, I was very uninformed about a lot of things, especially when it comes to these things of applications and whatnot. So I think for every year up until grade 11, I'd been, doing well, fairly well, I think, in all my modules. And then for some reason in Matric, I just felt like, what, let me just relax a bit, because I wasn't aware that I have to fight for a space in order to get admitted to university programs. I remember seeing, what do you call these things? These sheets where they show the requirements, the minimum requirement. Yes, where they show the minimum requirements. I remember seeing one, and then I was like, they want 60%. And at that time, I'd never received anything less than 60 my whole entire high school career. So I was like, I just need a 60, so I don't have to work so hard to get these distinctions if a 60 can get me there.
Yeah,
But exactly. I thought, get those 60, you are getting in. So yeah, I think I really dropped the ball in terms of academically. But outside of academics, I was also someone who's very active. Extramural activities, I was, your debating, your public speaking, sports, I experimented here and there, tennis, hockey. Yeah, but in terms of academics, really, for me, I don't remember like sleeping after 12. Not once did I ever cross night in matric. Like that's how that's how my matric was so chill. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe can you walk us through like your initial application to Varsity? Which universities did you apply for? Which programs did you apply for? And what did you get accepted for? What did you get rejected for? Can you walk us through that?
Okay. I think the first, I didn't apply to a lot of universities. That's red flag number one, which I urge people not to do. I only applied in how many? I only applied in two institutions. That was WITS and UKZN. But at that point, I told myself that I don't want to leave the province. So first choice was I'm staying in KZN. So it was UKZN. WITS I just put there because I remember seeing someone applying and I saw the application fee was like 100 rands. I was like, might as well just do it. So I remember at WITS I applied for BCMP and medicine. But at WITS I actually swapped them around. I didn't know medicine was MPCHB. So they also have, Bachelor of Clinical Medical Practice at
Yes, yeah,
WITS,
BCMP.
BCMP. Yeah, so I remember seeing there was a Bachelor of Medicine in Surgery and Bachelor of Clinical Medical Practice. Then I was like, but the clinical medical practice sounds like more like what I want to do. Mm-hmm. I don't think I want to be a surgeon. I'd want to be a physician either way. So I was like, no, I want the clinical medical practice, not the one with the surgery. And then, yeah, so obviously with that one, I was automatically declined for medicine because it can't be a second choice.
Option, yeah.
Yeah, so I was taken for BCMP, however, but I think I had to pay a fee of some sort to reserve my space. But I never did because I still had hope that, UKZN is taking me there anyways. And then at UKZN, I applied for medicine and pharmacy. So I got rejected for both. So it was a shocker. And then remember at WITS, I'd been accepted for that clinical medical practice. But I never accepted the offer, so they ended up taking it back. So yeah, that is me in Matric, basically. Rejection in every way I applied.
Okay. So then did you take a gap year or what ended up happening?
Okay, so what happened after that, in January when you receive results, everyone is going to Varsity, everyone telling you I'm going way. I think for me, since I'd already known that, I've been rejected for all my options, I heard about a late application at UKZN, so I went and did it for BSc. I actually registered and deregistered within a week. Within a week, I remember I was speaking to a lot of people. I went to their offices at UKZN, asking how plausible is it to actually switch to medicine. And then that guy told me that competition is really tight and I have to finish my degree first. So I wasn't really happy about that, the whole idea of having to complete the degree. So I decided, let me rather just take a gap year and find out if this is really what I want to do. And if I do have to do the BSc, go in there actually having more knowledge about it and having more options. So I ended up taking the gap year and then I reapplied.
Yes.
I applied at SMU and UKZN again this time, but ended up choosing to go to SMU for a BSc in biological sciences.
Okay. So how was the BSc? How was first year BSc?
BSc, oh God. I think those who don't know, like BSc guys, BSc is crazy. Like it's hectic. I think Blessing, even you can attest to this as well. I think for me it was a very big level up from high school. And mind you, had also taken a break. So my mind it had been a full year of just not touching a book. And then now I have to come and study, advanced chemistry, advanced mathematics as well. But surprisingly, I think university first year for me was my turning point. I think I did way better than I did in Matric. I know I struggled with maths in Matric, but when I came to BSc, the distinctions are just rolling. In maths, the physics I was understanding.
Maths becomes the simplest subject ever. I don't know, because in my first year also of BSc, maths was just...
Right. It's nice. I think also it's nice because you're not doing all these topics. I was just doing calculus. It was just calculus and what's the other one? What's the other one? Algebra. So I had a semester of algebra, a semester of calculus. And those were my favorite topics either way in high school. So it was very nice, except the pressure though. I think I got to see that, so many people actually want medicine. It was a topic every single day, every single class. When marks came out, people, would talk about that. Oh my God, I missed my distinction. It's going to ruin my chances of getting into medicine. That's where I started seeing that, this is real. If I want to get in, I need to really step it up. And it goes beyond just competing with yourself. you have to compete with the masses now. If you're a person who's generally happy with getting a 75, but an average student is getting an 80, you know very well that, you know, it's not good. You have to do way better. But yeah, I think it was a big realization that, wow, this is really something that is wanted and something that I have to really push.
Okay, maybe as a follow-up question, once you realize that like a lot of people, they really want to switch into medicine, did that like pose as like sort of like you then having to like put yourself under so much pressure? Or like how did you handle that? Like I'm competing with a big number of people, I need to level up my game.
I don't think I had pressure because, you know, one thing, I'm so grateful for that gap year because I really found myself. Like when I got into the BSc, I knew that I'm in this BSc because I have to get into medicine. I want to get into medicine. So BSc was not an experiment for me. Like I went in there with a goal already. I told myself that I have to make it here. So I was really honest with myself and honest with those around me. I was one of those people who were very open about it. Anyone who was close to me knew that this one wants to get into medicine. And I think that really helped me. In as much as one may see it as pressure that, oh, now you're telling people that you want medicine. Now it's going to be pressure. Everyone will want to know how are you doing academically and whatnot. But I think for me, it disciplined me and it was good pressure, if anything. Yeah, but honestly, I was really honest from the get-go. I was like, I want medicine and I'm aiming for good marks so I can switch. Yeah. So yeah, the pressure wasn't really bad. Yeah.
Okay. So like were there any challenges that you faced like while doing your BSc that sort of like maybe threatened your hope of transferring into medicine? And if there were any, like how did you navigate those challenges?
Challenges. I think the first challenge was because when I got into BSc, my game plan was only 1 year of BSc, and then you're switching to medicine the following year. So it was a very simple, straightforward plan that 1 year you ace it, you go into medicine the following year. So the biggest challenge for me was when that actually didn't happen, because I did my first year BSc. Okay, I think I did fairly well. And then I didn't make it into medicine. So that was not something that I had anticipated. It was never in my plans. Like I had never really thought about what if I don't get in. I had never even thought of registering for second year BSc module. So it was a very dark point in my life there. I was like, is this really going to happen? Is it ever going to happen? And I was told that second year of BSc is one of the most difficult ones, if not the most difficult. So I was like, if I think I did well in first year and I didn't make it, what makes me think maybe in second year I can do great and finish and actually get in, sorry. So I think that was point number one. But I had to overcome that. Yeah, I had to overcome that, just suck it up and tell myself, you know what, we try again. 1 more year again. Yeah. So for me, like completing was never an option. So even when I had to continue in second year, it was a thing of, I'm just doing second year only and leaving. And then in second year, there was one challenge. I slept. It was during exam season. I slept. Woke up very late for my biology exam, and I missed it. Yeah, so I went to campus. I was so hurt. I was so sad. I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a SAP, straightforward SAP. Forget about medicine. Probably after this, you might have to do honors and whatnot. But I was lucky enough that I managed to get to excuse myself from the department. And I wrote the SAP, but it was a deferred. It was referred to as a deferred exam. Yeah, so I still got a very good mark afterwards. Yeah, I think those were the main two challenges, really. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe while you were doing your BSc, maybe like for people that are also doing a different degree, how did you know that like medicine was your calling and like what kept you motivated and focused on that? Okay, I'm gonna do medicine. It is my calling.
I think I'm going to answer like how I answered just the question I just answered now. I think it goes back to that gap year. I think what makes my thingy a bit different is that gap year was really, really needed and was really, really helpful in terms of my decision making. So a whole year of nothing, no academics, no matric, no varsity studies. It's just me every day, just waking up, eating, sleeping, and thinking. So I was thinking about this. Medicine was in my head the whole 365 days during that gap year. So I was really sure, something I prayed about. I looked at other options thoroughly in health, looked at engineering and whatnot. I was really convinced. By the time I applied for that BSc in the gap year, I was really sure that, this is what I want. And, when I got into BSc, I was just fired up. I think there was never a day where I felt like, you know what, maybe I should just let go of this, or maybe I should start looking at other options. I think I got in there, like I was really consistent from day one till the last day I left in BSc. Whether it was a good day, a bad day, good test, bad test, it was the only reason I was there. Like I knew I'm only here so I can get into medicine.
I think
it wasn't easy though.
Point, because I think a lot of people, they focus more like exerting pressure on themselves. But like, I feel like if once like that is what you want and like you actually like, make progress towards that dream and goal and just focus only on that. And I think it sort of like helps to make the whole journey easier.
That is true. That is true.
So when you got accepted at UP, how did you feel? And then maybe also, can you walk us through how was your first year of medicine?
Okay, I still remember the acceptance like it was yesterday. Like, if I'm being honest with you, when I applied to UP, those applications where you just apply, you're like, I think UP for me was one of those. I was like, I'm gonna get rejected either way. I was like, let me just do it. I applied there, and I remember it was around August. I was just sitting in my room. I was depressed. Oh God, I was depressed. It had been a whole week where I was just sitting in my room. I didn't want to speak to anyone. I didn't want to go outside. I just felt like sitting in my room. And I used to binge watch, these medicine YouTubers. So back in the day, we had Regin Papuli, we had Julia Sackman. They used to document their medical school journeys. So that's all I would do. I would just sit and watch these vlogs, watch other people share how they got into medicine. That was my life. If I switched that off, the thing would come back and say, damn, you're not in medicine. And I would feel so sad. And then this one day I was so sad. And then something came to me. It's like, you applied to tax. Just check the portal and see if they haven't communicated anything yet. Because the week before, actually, I'd gotten a rejection letter. Oh, no, I'm lying. Yeah. I hadn't received any feedback from any university. So I opened the portal and when I checked it, it says admission status accepted. Yo, blessing. I didn't scream. I couldn't scream. I was numb. I remember I refreshed the thing, checking if maybe is an error or whatnot.
Make sure, like I'm not dreaming.
Am I dreaming or what's happening? And same time, I wore my shoes. I didn't bath. I was like, you know what? Wore my shoes straight. I took a taxi because I used to stay in Pretoria Central, and UP is it's like a taxi away from the race where I was staying. I went to UP same time, the medical school, to find out. I was like, I opened my portal. It says I'm accepted. Please check if it's not a mistake. That lady laughed at me. She was like, why would you think it's a mistake? I'm like, I don't believe it. Please check. And then she checks and then she's like, yeah, you're in. Only then it sank in. I was like, what? Then I called my mom. I was so happy. Like, sure. I was so happy. was so happy and forever grateful too.
Mm.
Oh yeah, your second question, you asked me about first year,
First
right?
year, yeah. How was first year?
Yeah. So first
Compared to
year,
BSc, how was first year made?
okay. Okay, firstly, okay, what the main big difference was that 2020, I did my first year in 2020, so it was a COVID year. So I really had only 3 months of like contact classes. After that, it was fully online, but it was very chilled, hey, because I got credited for most of my modules in the first semester. So I was really doing the easy ones. I had a lot of free time, a lot of free time. And then obviously there was that COVID online, which I feel like robbed us of really the experience. I think I only started experiencing medical school properly in third year because COVID was 2020, 2021. So only after the restrictions had been lifted, that's when I started really experiencing what medical school really is. It was much nicer than BSc first year because I didn't have the pressure of getting distinctions. They would come naturally. They'd just come, you know. If I didn't get it, it was a thing of it's fine. Like there was no pressure that I have to get a distinction. I think that was the main difference. Whereas in BSc, sometimes I'd get a 75 and be like, yo, I can't be getting this. I must try and get 80. Yeah. Very nice. It was very, very nice. And also a very different also because I changed institutions. So there's a lot of adjusting also to a new environment, new people. Yeah.
Okay. So I just want to ask, as a fifth year medical student, would you say like when you transferred into medicine, how was the adjustment in terms of like studying skills that you used in your first degree? Did you have to change a lot, or was it easier now to transition as like you were someone that was coming from a different degree?
Okay, I found that with medicine, my study strategy changes every time, like with every module, with different assessments. Because some assessments in medicine are oral, so that you study differently to something where, for example, you're writing long questions, you study different to when you're writing MCQ. But I think the main difference also with BSc for me, honestly, was cram throughout. Like that's the only way that I got good marks in BSc, because I felt like with BSc I could just cram. If I know the textbook as it is, the questions would come in such a way that I can literally just spill the information like that and get full marks. Whereas in medicine, it's different because it's more application. You can understand something, a subject, and still fail. You can understand and still fail. I don't know if because it doesn't come simple. Like it comes in a tricky manner. You have to really, really apply yourself. Yeah. Cramming is not an option.
Okay.
Cramming now is not an option at all. Yeah. And I used to be good at cramming. So
Skis.
I miss it. Yeah.
So your future daughter can be cramming hour, you must understand.
Nah. Of course.
So let's say to someone in a different degree, maybe it's their first time applying for the transfer, is their second time or third time, and maybe like now due to like the rejection letters, they are doubting themselves. What advice would you give to them, like to navigate those feelings and stay hopeful about their dream?
I think the first thing and the most important thing is get rid of that doubt. Whatever doubt you have, like I think that is the main reason. Like that's the biggest obstacle. Like before we even get into the marks, you doing well. Like remove that doubt. If you've never been someone who really achieves high marks, because I know it can be very frustrating. Maybe let's say you're someone who was getting 60s in high school, even in varsity, you're getting 60s, and then here comes someone telling you that now you need to get 80s in all your modules. So you're probably thinking this is something that is not attainable for you. I think the first thing is remove that doubt. You really need to believe in yourself first before you can even do it. And also put in the effort.
Yeah.
put in the effort, put in the work, and work smart, not hard. For me, with BSc, what I would do with every module, I was very, very like I'd work smart about it. You know, there's modules where you know that they repeat past papers. Then do past papers. Like you can't don't go to that exam without doing past papers. You know, there's gonna be modules where they tell you if you do this lecturer's slides, he asks things from those slides. There are modules where you have to read the textbook. You know, get advice from your senior students who have gone past that. Ask people, both those who have done well in the module and those who haven't done well also. So you have a good all-round perspective of the module before you even get in. Don't experience the module during the time you're actually doing it. And then also push yourself, tell yourself that you can do it. I always tell myself that, you know, if someone else did it, so can I. And it's not something that comes from a place of arrogance, maybe that, you know, I can do everything. No. It's more from an element of faith that, you know, I can do all things as long as I put my mind into it. And whatever it is that encourages you, I mean, stick to it. If you're someone who's religious, stick to that, do more of that. If you're someone who needs to be reassured every now and then, speak to people who give you that, whether it be friends, family, but it's really important to have someone that you can speak about. This is not something that you should keep to yourself alone, because there will be days where you are really at your lowest and you need someone that you can just vent to. And also reach out to us, reach out to a medical student. If you're following someone on Instagram, trust me, like there's no one who wouldn't want to speak to you. You know, sometimes you have to just speak to someone and be like, you know what, I can do this. Reach out to these people and, you know, get advice, get some encouragement from them. But, you know, it's attainable, man. You fail, you try again. It's okay. Yeah.
I think what you mentioned is really important. It's important to have like a support structure, someone to reach out to keep the drive alive. Because I think for most people, given that like it's highly competitive to transfer into medicine, most people take on the stress alone. They don't reach out to other people. And like, I think that can also apply like pressure on someone, leading to depression, which can also affect your chances of like getting good marks. So when you have someone, a support structure, I think it will help make the whole process easier.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes.
Oh yeah. I just wanted to add a point. There's just a point that came.
Yes, you can.
Also, especially for those that are coming from Matric, one of the things that you're going to see when you're in varsity during lectures that might intimidate you. You know, there's different types of personalities, different type of students. You'll see those students that it's day one of that module and they're probably proactive and they're answering questions. And you feel like, oh, wow, like I really don't know anything. These people are just answering. And do not compare yourself with those people. Do not compare yourself with anyone. You could be there in that lecture and not understand everything. But as long as by the time you have to write that test, you understand your work, that is fine.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning. I think that's a very important point. So maybe you can tell us, what would you say it's your grinding motto or a quote that you live by to like remain focused and like balance academics, social lives, and other aspects of your life?
Can you repeat the question again?
So what would you say like it's your grinding motto, a motto that you live by, or a quote that you live by in order to remain focused, get the job done, academics, and also balancing your social life? What is a quote that drives you?
I can't think of a specific quote, but I can think of a Bible verse.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the Bible verse that comes to mind is, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I think for me that just sums up everything. You know, so whether I'm in a happy mood, whether I'm in a sad mood, whether I'm you know, it's a good day, it's a bad day. I think knowing that I can do all things despite that, you know, I think that's what carries me through everything that I do, actually. Yeah.
That's usually a great
So,
answer.
however tough the obstacle is, I know that I can do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe if you can just touch on like, so for people out there wanting to transfer into medicine, what would you say like is the overall GPA or like overall average they should aim for to stand like a good chance of being considered to transfer into medicine from their respective degrees?
Okay. Okay. So this is specifically for now for those that have university experience.
Yes.
So for for those of you that have university experience, whether you're first year, undergrad, postgrad, final year in whatever degree, I would say minimum for those ones 75. And this is based on what I've seen from my peers. Like I don't know anyone who has gotten in with a degree with an average of less than 75, but I do know a lot of 75s. I myself had a 77.5 percent, but this was back in 2019, mind you. And I do know that the competition gets different and tougher every year. So I think 75 is safe, but 80 is more closer to a guarantee. I think if you have 80, if you are playing in the 80s, you have a very bright future. Every university has its own things that they look at. Selection criteria are not the same. So you might be a front runner in one university and in the other university you don't make the cut. So just apply everywhere so that you can have a fair chance. And then for those coming in Matric is usually crazy. I'm just not aware in terms of all the institutions what it is. But I know here at UP, it's always as close to 90 as possible, the average. Yeah, students that get here are usually at just above 85% with an average. So it's much better for the university students. The average is usually lower.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe as a last question, can you maybe just tell us, are you planning on specializing or what are the options? What are we looking at?
That's a big one, Blessing. I think I definitely want to specialize. But if I'm being honest with you, it changes every day. It changes. Yeah, I do one block and I'm like, hey, do I really want to do this loop? And then I do another one, I want to do this. But at heart, I really feel like I am a physician. So internal medicine is definitely something I'm looking towards specializing in. Maybe further specializing in endocrinology or cardiology. Yeah, so yeah, hopefully. But my main thing, I want to go into academia. So I'm definitely going to go in the academia route. But yeah, in terms of specializing, endocrinology or cardiology for now.
Okay. Well, that was the last question. I just want to take this time and say thank you so much for agreeing to be part of this project and also for having this interview with me, taking time from your busy schedule as a fifth-year medical student and dedicating time to have the interview. It's actually very nice having you on the project because honestly, when I sent that message on Instagram, I was not expecting a response. But yeah, thank you for accepting the invite and yeah.
Thank you so much, Blessing, for the invite. And yeah, thank you to your viewers as well. Yeah, if anyone wants to ask further questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram. I know on my YouTube channel I have my email, but I hardly respond to email. So it's just better if you just throw in a DM. But yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, have a great day.
Okay. Further. Thank you. That is it from today's episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.